Okay, so this is Unit 8, Day 2 notes, and we're going to talk some more about our quadrilaterals, and specifically about our types of parallelograms. We already introduced that last time on this page right here, and you might find it helpful to look back at the notes on this, and on this side where I put some of these notes, because we're going to go over this in more detail. So we're going to fill in this little table that kind of compares these four kinds and see what's the same and what's different. Because this is the same kind of thing we had before where some of these things are very similar. So first of all, which one of these have opposite sides that are congruent? So we're saying these sides are the same length. And I'm going to draw to nail all of these. And the purple sides are the same length. Well, if you look at each one of these, do you think the pink ones are the same length here? Yes. Do you think the pink ones are the same here? Here, here, yes. They're the same in all of these. How about the opposite sides are parallel? Yep, they all look parallel. The purple ones are parallel in each one of these. So this is true for all of them. Opposite angles are congruent. So we're saying this angle is the same as this angle. And this one's the same as this one. Well, here they are. In the rectangle, they're all 90 degrees. So if they're all 90 degrees, they're all congruent. And in a square, they're all 90 degrees, so they're all congruent. And then again here, this one is congruent to that one. I could fold this in half and they would match up perfectly. And here, they would match up perfectly. Consecutive angles are supplementary. That means they add up to 180. Yes, these two, if I put them together, they would equal 180. Here they're both 90, and here they're both 90, so that's clearly 180. And here, these two would add up to 180. So far, all these rules we've had up to this, they all say that they are the same. And then the diagonals bisect each other. If I draw in these diagonals, does this one cut this one into two equal parts? Well, take a minute and look at it. Maybe measure it with your fingers, see what you think on this one. And it does. Draw them in on this one. And on each one of these, draw them in. And see if you think that these are equal and these are equal on each one. And it does look like it's equal on all of those. Now, the next one is 4 right angles. Does this have 4 right angles? No. How about this one? Yes. This one? Yes. The diagonals are congruent. Is this one equal to this one? No, this one's a lot shorter, so that's not true. How about here? Is this one equal to this one? Yes. And in this one over here. 4 congruent sides. Are the purple ones the same length as the pink ones? No. No. Yes. And yes. Diagonals bisect each other. So what we're saying is this side equal to this side? Oh, I'm sorry, diagonals bisect angles. Have these been cut into 2 equal parts, right here and right there? No, this one looks like it's smaller than that one, so that's not cut in half. Here, how about here? Does this look like it's the same size as that? No, those are different. How about here, this side and that side? Yes, we could definitely fold it right on here and it would match up. And the same thing on this one. And the diagonals are perpendicular. Do these look like 90 degrees? Do these look like 90 degrees? No, but this one is 90 degrees and this one's 90 degrees. So some of these things are true for all of them because there are rules that we had that were true for all parallelograms last time. Some of the rules are things that are true for rectangles and squares because those are the 2 rules we put down last time that are true for rectangles. Some of them are true for rhombuses. These are the same things we wrote down for rhombuses. And then notice that everything is true for squares because squares have all the properties of rhombuses and rectangles, and these have all the properties of parallelograms. So that's how that works. So now we're going to draw some pictures in here, and I made 2 of them so that we can do diagonals on the second one in each one. So draw diagonals on the second one. So for parallelograms, opposite sides are congruent. I'm going to go down my list here. And they're parallel, so I'm going to put that on this one so it's not confusing all in one drawing. And opposite angles are congruent. So here, this is congruent to this, and this is congruent to this. And they're supplementary. So let's call this A and B. So angle A plus angle B equals 180. And the diagonals bisect each other. That means this one is equal to this one, and this one is equal to this one. In a rectangle, all that same thing is true, plus I have 4 90-degree angles, and the diagonals are congruent. So this one, let's call this A, B, C, D. AB is equal to, AD is equal to BC. This one is equal to that one. And then let's put all this extra information on here. These are congruent. Opposite sides are congruent. Opposite sides are parallel. Opposite angles are congruent because they're all 90 degrees. Consecutive angles add up to 180 because they're 90 and 90 is 180. And the diagonals bisect each other. So these are equal, and these are all equal. If this is 4, this is 4, this is 4, this is 4, because the whole thing is equal. Rhombuses, we have the same things here. These are congruent, and these are all congruent. So opposite sides are congruent, and in fact all 4 sides are congruent. Opposite sides are parallel, so let's put that on this one. Consecutive angles equal to 180, so let's call this AB. Angle A plus angle B equals 180. The diagonals bisect each other. This is equal to this, and this is equal to this. That's this one right here. And we also know in rhombuses that the 4 sides are congruent. We already put that on our picture here. The diagonals bisect the angles. So let's put that. So this is saying that this one is equal to this one, and it's the same thing here. And then this one is equal to this one, and this one is equal to this one. And the diagonals are perpendicular, so mark that in, perpendicular. Now all that stuff is true here. It's 90 degrees. They're all congruent. These two add up to 180 because 90 and 90 is 180. These are all congruent here. This is 90 degrees. These are parallel. These angles are the same, and in fact they're all the same on all of them. And if I've cut them in half, if they were 90 and I've cut them in half, all of these are 45 degrees. And that's all our stuff there.